And then there's a variety of attachments that you can put onto that. So I thought I'd kind of go over a few of these here and show you how it all operates. This particular one is the KM 130R. This is actually what's known as a 4-mix engine. It's sort of a mix between a 4-stroke and a 2-stroke. It has valves like a 4-stroke, but you still mix the gas and oil like a 2-stroke. So, you know, basically you get a lot of power out of this, a lot of torque, but without the, you know, the oil reservoir, the oil pump, everything like that, it's still relatively light. So it's a pretty cool system. I believe this particular unit puts out about 1.9 horsepower, which obviously is pretty substantial for a trimmer. And then, but once you've selected, you know, the power unit that you like, then you can go on and buy all the different attachments that you need. And I believe there's about 14 different attachments available for this right now. You can get things like cultivators, sweepers, edgers, that sort of thing. But he's got about 5 different attachments here right now. And we'll kind of go through these and just show you how these operate. The first one here is, I believe, what they call a power scythe. It's basically like a hedge trimmer, but a little bit heavier. And they actually do have a hedge trimmer, but this is just a little bit heavier version, and obviously very sharp. And the reason he bought this, and then next to it here, we have the chainsaw attachment, which obviously is pretty cool. And that's so you can reach up and you know, cut tree limbs that are high above your head. Now, obviously this has some length to it already, but there's actually an extension pole that you can add as well. And right now it's still in the case here. But basically this is like a 36-inch extension. So you can mount that and the extension pole to the power unit, and then you got pretty good length to reach up above your head and trim limbs and that kind of thing. So that definitely could be really useful. And then in his case, he actually has the string head trimmer and the bladed trimmer. And I will tell you this, when you buy a string head trimmer attachment, it won't have this large guard on here. It'll have a little bit smaller guard. So what he did is he bought the attachment that was actually made for the blade, like that. And then he put the string trimming unit on that one, okay? And that way he has the large guard on both of them, okay? And the only reason that he has both is he just wanted to be able to switch back and forth quickly. Obviously you can just remove the string head and put the blade on this one if you'd like. But he liked the idea of actually being able to just pop it off and then put the bladed one on and switch back and forth real easily. So he went ahead and bought both of them. And then next to that, we have this blower attachment, which you know, just your typical leaf blower setup. But again, that attaches to the power unit right here, like all the others. Pretty cool. And I can show you that in action in just a minute here. And over here we have a different style blade. That one's kind of like a saw blade basically. And then he has this 4-sided blade as well. So I mean, you can just kind of experiment and try different blades and see which one works, and show you how that works. Of course, you have your fuel right here. You got your primer bulb right there, and you press that at least 5 times to prime it up. Then you have the choke right here. Right now it's open. Turning that up is in the choke position. And then down here you have your ignition switch. You can see you have stop and then ignition and start. And the way you set that is you actually squeeze the trigger and this safety lever here, and then while you're holding those you put that back to start and then let up, and it'll lock it in place there. Okay, then what you're going to do is just press this bulb to get that fuel primed up in there. I'll go ahead and do 6, and then you go ahead and pull it, and then if it pops off then you can remove the choke and then finish firing it up. So we'll go ahead and just give it a pull. I just kind of pull up a little bit and get the tension on it, like so. And you can hear it popped. I'm going to go ahead and turn the choke off. And this is, you know, a dead cold engine, so this is how you would do it if it was cold. Now, as you can see, once I squeeze that trigger, this slid forward from start to the ignition point there. So it'll stay idling at that point. And obviously you just squeeze the trigger to operate it. So you can see it idles along really nicely. So I think what I'll do now is put one of the attachments on there and just show you how it works. And maybe we'll try out a few of them here. Alright guys, I went ahead and shut that off so you could hear me for a minute here. I did go ahead and grab the string trimmer attachment, and I wanted to show you how they fit together. And all these pieces of equipment fit together in the same way, obviously. You have a little key here, so that it can only go on in one way, and then you have the shaft that obviously is going to attach to the power unit, and that's how you get the power down to the device. On the actual power unit itself, you can see that keyway, so it actually has to slide in, and that's the only way it can go. And then once you slide it in there, you just tighten it down with this knob until it's secure. So it's pretty easy, and it can be transferred really quickly, so you can go from one piece to the other. So let me go ahead and insert this, and then I'll come back and show you how it works. Alright guys, I've got the camera on the tripod, so hopefully I can show you this. But obviously you just take this keyed portion here and slide it into the keyway, like so. And then it drops all the way down. And they even have a little line on here, if you can see that, that tells you that it's at full depth. Okay, and then you just tighten this down. And it's really that simple. And obviously when you go from one implement to the other, it's just that easy. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it up, and we'll show you what it sounds like in action here. One thing I'll point out is that once you've started it, you've gone through that procedure of priming it and choking it, firing it up, then the next time you can actually just leave it in that ignition position instead of start, and just go ahead and fire it up. You don't need to go through the whole priming procedure again. And let me go ahead and start it up, and you can hear what it sounds like at least. And then while we have it here on camera, I'll go ahead and pull that one off, and we'll put the chainsaw attachment on there, just so you can see how easy it is to switch them and see what the chainsaw works like here. So obviously you just loosen that knob up, it slips out. Again, this is keyed the same way. You just slip it in there, make sure it seats all the way down to the line. There we go. And then just tighten that on, and we're good to go. So I'll go ahead and fire it up. And hopefully you can see the kind of torque this thing has. When I blip that gas, it'll crank it over if I don't hold it really tight. So, I mean, it's got quite a bit of power to it. And I guess we'll do one more. I'll go ahead and show you the blower attachment. Alright guys, obviously this changes the exact same way. We'll just loosen that up, pull the chainsaw loose, and attach the blower. You just want to make sure you get the blower all the way down till they meet here. And tighten that up. I'll go ahead and fire that up for you. Well, anyway guys, obviously not a real professional review or anything, but I just wanted to give you a quick look at it in case you hadn't seen a system like that before. Once again, this particular one is the KM130R by Stihl, and obviously everybody knows that Stihl makes a really quality product, so